Miraculous Secrets of Longevity.com, and I recently read a blog post that I saw linked from Facebook, written actually by Durianrider. Some of you may be familiar with him. He's got a YouTube channel here, and his name's Harley Johnston, and he's got some views that he often talks about raw veganism. And in this particular post, he was talking about Daniel's Surthrival product, his Colostrum product, also Daniel himself. So I've put a link below this video to the post that Harley has written, and the title of the post is Daniel Vitalis wins this month's MLM Guru Award. So I commented on this blog post. I'm not sure if the comment's going to be approved or not. My comment was almost as long, if not longer, than the post itself, because I had some things to say, and I'm going to explain those things in this video here. But I also wrote a note on Facebook with that comment in it. Some of you may have already seen that. And then I'm also going to explain those same points here. I just wanted to share this with my audience on my channel because I think they're really important things to take in mind. Just because they're more science-based and factual, and it helps dissuade a lot of the misinformation people are promoting out there. And in this case, this blog by Durianrider, there's a lot of things that are said that have no basis whatsoever. There's a little bit of evidence presented, but I refute that with these points that I'm going to talk about. And by all means, I think critiquing and keeping open dialogue between different health philosophies is a wonderful and productive thing. But one thing that I see a lot in health, the health movement in general, is that a lot of people get caught up in their personal belief system and philosophy, and they promote it with this front that it is truth. And yes, they might have a lot of facts to back it up, but in the end it comes down to how much evidence is there supporting this and how much evidence against it, and which has more weight than the other. Now, another thing that's important is to maintain the ability to critique something, whether it's a scientific study, a specific diet, a specific exercise program, even a specific philosophical or spiritual belief. It's important to be able to critique that without overstepping that line of critiquing that thing and critiquing the person as an individual. So what I see a lot between people is they get so emotionally caught up in something because they have so much personal investment in their identity of whatever label they put on themselves, whether it's vegan, whether it's raw, whether it's primal diet, whether it's TCM practitioner. And because they have that label that they're so bound up in, and it can be even a spiritual thing like Christian, Muslim, Hindu, etc. You see people get caught up in these things and they parade around with it, and because of that they end up attacking other labels, but they overstep that and attack the people themselves instead of just disseminating the facts and critiquing the individual ism, whether it's raw food ism, vegan ism, primal dietism. And that's really what we need to do, is be focusing on the things themselves and maintain this heart-centered approach to the way we communicate with people, and not get so caught up in these vicious attacks that, again, I'm just going to say it's insecure, really. It comes down to insecurity because you have this built-up persona of yourself as being this ism. So I'm not going to get into too much of the details of Harley's posts, other than he basically made some attacks on the Surthrival product that really don't have that much basis, but the few things that had a little bit of basis to them I'm going to counter here. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the title, which he has in there, the MLM Guru Award. And first of all, MLM means multi-level marketing, and as far as I know, Surthrival isn't an MLM company. Perhaps that might be something in their plans, but I highly doubt so. They have an affiliate program. A lot of people love their product, and so they're out there promoting it. So an MLM company is a company that has a pyramid structure. It's almost a pyramid scheme, but it's not quite the Ponzi scheme. Classically, it's not as cutthroat, you could say. And Surthrival definitely isn't that. So the pyramid structure is there's someone at the top, probably the person running the company, and everyone below them is basically promoting and distributing the product, and everyone gets a percentage of the people at the bottom who are buying most of the product, and it works its way up to the person at the top making the most. And to a degree, this is how any business works. The only difference is that instead of selling a product through a store or online, it's being sold by individuals. So yes, that's why it's illegal, but there's certain ethical issues in how it's designed and the quality of the product and whether the product's actually overpriced or not. So having a bunch of people selling a product who are also have a big financial incentive to get more distributors under them to sell a product, that is MLM, because it creates several tiers. So every tier down of people selling this product are going to be on auto ship. They're getting the product every month automatically, or whatever time period is allotted for the auto ship program, and they're probably buying an overpriced product, and their main incentive to make money isn't so much selling the product, but is to get more people under them. And so it's building this base of more and more people selling it. Yeah, so right off the bat, the title is a personal attack on Daniel, and I just think that's a little underhanded. It's not very integrous. And then the first point he makes is Daniel's special colostrum is harvested within 6 hours, but the word that Harley uses in this case is stolen. So it's stolen from the cow within 6 hours. Now, that right there shows the bias, because he's not understanding or hasn't looked into the process of how this product's collected, how colostrum is collected by the company. And if you listen to all the information out there and read it, you'll actually find that this company is one of the most sustainable animal product companies that I've personally ever seen or heard about in terms of the way they collect the product. And they actually install maternity wards for the cows, which makes for a much more relaxing environment. And they actually have a mandatory policy for all the farmers to put them on the cows on a specific nutritional program leading up to and after the birth of the calf. So what this means is that the cow's going to be healthier, the calf's going to be healthier, and the colostrum's going to be of a higher quality. So it's a win-win-win for the cow, the calf, and the end product, which is supplied to the people that are interested in it. Now, is this still stealing? That's the question. Farm animals, regardless of the type, are all hybridized over many generations, because there are no cows in the wild, there's no pigs in their current state that we see them on farms in the wild, and there's no chickens in terms of the chickens you see on farms in the wild like that. So if you were to set them free out into the wild, they're not going to survive, because they're bred in a certain way to consume the food that's provided on the farm, to be cared for and penned up to prevent predators from getting at them. Now, to have the standpoint that this is stealing means that you're viewing the model of farmer and farm animal as a parasite type of relationship, meaning the farmer has this animal in captivity, it's abusing it and it's taking from them but not giving anything back. It's like a parasite in our body. It's taking from us, but it's giving absolutely nothing back. It's just causing harm. But that's not the case in a farm situation. Unless, of course, we're talking about a factory farm. But we know this isn't a factory farm that these animals are being brought up and having the colostrum collected from. No, this is more of a symbiotic relationship. And a symbiotic relationship, in scientific terms, it's any relationship you see out in nature where there's two animals or two or more animals working in harmony that are both providing them of a benefit. For instance, on a shark, they have remoras, which are a type of fish that attach to their side and eat parasites off them. And in the meantime, they're protected and given a free ride by the shark, and they're protected from other predators because they're latched on the shark and no animal's going to try and attack them. Farm animals, they're in the care of a farmer, and we're hoping that it's an ethical farm, sustainable, organic, and all these things, and it's going to be a good life for the farm animal. And I've worked on organic farms. In proper scenarios, they can be treated very well. And by all means, we should be out there exposing the factory farms and wanting animal rights in those situations, because those are unethical. But when we're talking about a symbiotic type relationship, we can't be calling this stealing from an animal when the animal's providing a service and the farmer providing a service to the animal. Of course, slaughtering an animal, that's a different story. I'm just talking about eggs, dairy, cheese, sheep wool, these types of products that we can get from an animal where it's not harming the animal. Now perhaps the only point I saw in this blog post that had any validity but showed a lack of understanding and a lack of research was the looking into the IGF-1 cancer connection. Now some people and scientists have stated in the past that IGF-1, when it's too high, can contribute to cancers, and cancer cells grow in the presence of IGF-1 in the body. And IGF-1 stands for insulin-like growth factor 1, which is a precursor to human growth hormone. And this is a very anabolic hormone in the body. We need IGF-1 to produce HGH, human growth hormone, so that we can recover from our athletic endeavors, so that we can grow muscle tissue, so we can keep our skin supple and smooth, so we can have a strong immune system. And all these things seem counterintuitive to think something that's providing these benefits to us is going to be causing cancer to grow. And yes, actually now we do know that natural IGF-1, whether in our body or in an animal product, or in a food product, but IGF-1 is actually fine for the body. It does not promote cancer growth. And first of all, a lot of that research was done on synthetic IGF-1, and some people were making blanket statements from specific research on that saying this was bad. And the same thing can be said about like vitamin E. Is vitamin E bad for the body? No, we know it's good, but there are studies out there that show vitamin E is harmful to the body and promotes cancer growth, but that was studies done on synthetic vitamin E. And as it turns out, IGF-1 levels do rise in the body when a person has cancer. So this is actually going to probably be a future type of test they do on people that might have cancer going on, and they want to see if they're susceptible to it, because the body will actually raise levels of IGF-1 to boost the immune system to help fight off the cancer. So that's where that idea comes from, partially, that IGF-1 could be a cause of cancer. It's not. It's like saying a high white blood cell count is the cause for a common cold. But if you have a cold, we know we get it from an external cause, or it might be some sort of detoxification effect, and white blood cell counts go up because our immune system wants to fight this thing. So we're smart enough not to blame the white blood cells, so in this case we shouldn't be blaming IGF-1 for cancer. It's a cause and effect thing. The effect is IGF-1 levels rising because there's cancer somewhere in the body. And the final point that Durianrider touches on, and it's not really a point, this was to me the most underhanded shot of the whole blog post, was these attempts at criticizing Daniel for the way he dresses, the way he has his own personality, and the way his teaching style, and his whole lifestyle. And you know, this to me is not a reason to denote anyone just because they're different from you. That's actually prejudice, and that's getting really underhanded and pretty insecure about the whole issue. And yes, it's one thing to critique someone's lifestyle, someone's diet, philosophy, spirituality on something that has basis, but this is just blanket statement saying, you know, this person's this way and I think that's stupid, or I think that's unhealthy, or this makes them a bad person. Yeah, come on. Let's have some integrity in the health community and actually promote things for a cause. And you know, people see this and it really gives a bad perception to the philosophy and health practices that you're promoting. And I would suggest that you look at another approach, because it's doing yourself and your whole community a big disservice. And I think that's unfortunate, because I see the way people relate and communicate as a means of improving our own health philosophy and elevating ourselves to be able to attain better health, because that should be our goal. It shouldn't be to promote our own ideology and in the end help everyone get what they want, which is more satisfaction out of life, and not this sort of mean-spirited attempt at elevating our ego to feel better than others. So anyone watching this that has something to say, please comment below. I have written an article on Colostrum if you want to learn more about this amazing product and food. You can check out below, there's a link to that. That's an article I've written, and I talk about some of the other benefits and also myths and problems some people think there might be with it, but are actually completely safe with this specific product. It's one of the most ethical products I've ever seen released on the market. And remember to comment and embrace life without limits.